Hey, how you doing? Chuck Englert, Spring Piston Rifle Fever. Today I'm working on my Hatsan 95 to try to improve the trigger. So I've been working on it for a little while now. I wanted to make sure I had a clue of what I wanted to do before I started filming stuff, and I want to show you a few things about the stock on the inside. So there's this plastic piece right in here. It just kind of sits there. Actually, it fell out when I took it out. One other thing you have to be very careful about is these stock screws up here. Take pictures before you take them out. I actually had to have one screwdriver on one side and one screwdriver on the other side. And I did do the shock wave thing that Mike Inglesworth Stepping Stone said. Set that down there. All right. Now, on your Quattro trigger here, there is a bunch of very loose pins, and if you don't want them falling out, get yourself a piece of duct tape and put that around that sucker. The only pin you want coming out is right there. Now I'm going off another video I have that's already saved in my playlist, but he doesn't talk about using the duct tape thing, so the duct tape thing is original with me on this video. I already have another spring. He suggested a ballpoint pen spring, so I have a ballpoint pen spring. I already took it out of the pen. I got it sitting right here, and this pin is about ready to pop out. So hopefully I don't have to take the trigger pin out either. I just want to do this. So it's already right there. There's the pin. So I'm going to set it right there and not bump anything. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pivot this. You're going to sit there on my crock right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my finger over this because I don't want anything flying away. Let's see if I can angle camera better. All right. So I'm going to put my finger there because I don't want things flying away. All right. The spring sits right on that nub right there. I'm going to set that right there next to that. And now I'm going to take my handy dandy pick and we're going to pull this spring out. And there's the spring. And the fellow in the video said there's no way that your rifle is going to be, that your trigger is going to break easier in your Quattro trigger until you replace that spring. So there's that spring. Here is my spring for my ballpoint pen. So I went upstairs and got myself a pair of snips, and I'm going to kind of measure here, and I'm going to make this one just a little longer, because I want to make sure that it works right. You don't want to screw up and cut things too short right off the bat. So I'm just going to measure, hold these two side by side, turn this guy around. You want the cutting side on the edge. And let's see what that looks like. Whatever you do, you don't want to rush through stuff like this and screw things up. So I got a hold of the other side, squeeze, clip it, and this is going to be my new spring for my trigger. Yeah, I got it in my mouth. Holding it in my mouth right now. Now there is another little lap thingy for that to sit on inside here. I'm going to take my shoe thing back in, and I'm going to hope that this all goes well. He took his trigger out on his, and maybe I need to do that too. But with this lighter spring, I thought maybe it would go in okay. Seems to be. Working okay. I just need to line up my hole better. Need to get some of this duct tape out of my way. I'm sorry because you probably can't see perfectly what I would like to show you, but I'm hoping you get the idea. So I'm getting my pin there, and I got it started, and now I'm going to give her a tap tap. How you like my tool? So I think that pin's about right. So now we'll take the duct tape off. And I am glad I did this duct tape thing. I'm going to roll it backwards. I'm not going to pull it straight off because if you pull it straight off, you might yank these pins out. I don't want a major headache right now. So if you can see, these pins here are really loose. I can just slide them back and forth very easily. So we don't need no pin catastrophe. They're all kind of loose. I tried turning this sideways to tap out that pin, and everything started falling. So that wasn't good. So I'm going to turn everything over here. First of all, I'm going to put just a little bit of grease on my compression tube because Hatsan sent this to me rusty down here along the side. Thank you, Hatsan. You know, I like Steve Chalet's channel, and he talks about air gun and advancement and exploration. That's how I feel. Air gun advancement and exploration. So I'm just putting some protective grease down here. Eventually I will get inside the compression chamber and get to work in there. So what I'm going to have to do is flip this around. I'm going to keep my eyes on those pins to make sure they don't fall. And get this guy lined up right here. And we're going to put her back into the stock. Hopefully it will go down nice and right. I advise you also to get yourself a rifle rest for this type of stuff. Voila. There we go. So now I'm going to put the screws back in. Hear my son upstairs making some owie song. He must have hurt himself. So I'm just going to flip this around and I'm going to get this one started here. I might blue Loctite that later. I blue Loctited it the other day. Very important to have blue Loctite on your screws. Not going to screw that in one in tight. I want it to be somewhat loose. And now I'm going to get my other screws. And I'm looking around. And there's one up here on the table. And the other ones I put inside here. So the system for these Hatsan rifles are a little different than other rifles. So I know this one goes on this side. It has like a ring that goes down in here. And then a type of nut that's threaded on the inside that goes in next. And then it has a little screw that's going to go on there after I put my other screw nut in. It's going to go on the other side. So I'm going to brace this with my finger to make sure it doesn't move. This is going to go in my mouth, like so. And this guy is going to go on this side. just like so. I'm going to take the screwdriver and I'm going to screw it in. And try not to gouge anything. I remember Mike Inglesworth Stepping Stone said not to screw it in too far. So I'm going to screw it in a little further though. I don't want this to be all loose. Now the other one is starting to give way a little bit. It looks about right. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put a little bit of blue Loctite on my little screw here. Make sure you shake this stuff up. I didn't say that last time. Shake it up. You don't need a whole lot. Hold it away from your rifle. You don't want that dropping on your rifle. Make sure you wash your hands. This stuff is toxic. So after you're done fooling with it, don't go and eat a bag of chips or something. So I got my little bit of blue Loctite on there. Whatever you do, take your time. Don't screw up and drop stuff. It can be a real pain in the butt. I don't even really know if this needs to be blue Loctited, but I would rather be safe than sorry. I don't want this falling out. I got a little bit of that blue Loctite junk on there. Now, this needs a little bit smaller screwdriver, and it's got a straight kind of Phillips head, so I'm just going to flip this around like so and screw this guy in. I like putting my finger against the screw just kind of as a guide so I don't slip and gouge anything. A little push down and twist. And that's it. Also, I want to say this rifle doesn't rattle when shaken, so that's kind of cool. Now back to my ugly face again. This will probably be a fully unedited video because I don't think I needed to stop filming or anything. So I can tell it's lighter already, but I will put some rounds down range. I don't have a trigger meter scale. I was going to buy actually a fish scale, but they had a big, like, looked like a big type of clothespin that you would pinch on a fish's mouth, and I was like, well, that's not going to work. And then the other one was not digital, so I was like, well, forget it. So for now, you're just going to have to give my accept my word on it when I say that it's either got a light trigger or it's heavy and it stinks. Before, this was kind of heavy and stinky. So now I'm going to plan on making it lighter, crisper, and nicer. If you like the video, please subscribe. I'd highly appreciate that. Question and comment, I like those too. I definitely like thumbs up. It's very nice. Really appreciate the airgun community out there that has supported me. And once again, got me over 1,000 subscribers just about a day ago. So very happy with that. Going to be working on this, what kind of accuracy we can get out of it. Eventually, I will get in the compression chamber and see how the piston seal looks and probably do a DIY tune inside here. But one step at a time. So I hope you all have a great evening. God bless you.